Welcome to SolidCAM Professor. I'm Sydney, your SolidCAM Professor, and in this session, we'll be showing you our new option in SolidCAM 2011 of Toolbox. What exactly is Toolbox? Toolbox is a series of canned shapes that we can actually program just the geometry, and the actual toolpath is automatically calculated by the program itself. All we have to give is geometry, the tool itself, and the depth. The big advantage of this is that you have all those parameters that we used to put in that you do not have to put in anymore because they're automatically figured out according to the type of shape that we will be machining. Let's take a look at the toolbox itself. If I were to open up my operations and add an operation, we have the new option called Toolbox Cycles. Let's first take a look at the different options we have in Toolbox. If we open up our technology box, you'll note we have a total of 12 different options in the toolbox itself. The first three over here are based on the iMachining and the rest on the regular 2.5D operations. We'll start with the first operation for a spiral open slot. As you can see in the picture, this is talking about a slot where we cut it in a trochoidal manner until we get to the other end. If we take a look at this picture over here on the right hand side, you'll note that these two lines are in red. Those are the actual geometries that have to be picked, and since there are also no arrows on the lines itself, that means the direction does not matter. So we'll start by defining our geometry, and we'll pick this line, and then we'll pick this line, and I'll accept that. Next, we'll choose our tool. The tool in this case will be a 10 millimeter end mill. Our levels, we have our regular upper levels and lower level. I'll choose my lower level as that floor over here. And then when we go to the technology, all we have to choose is our step down, our spiral cuts, minimum and maximum step over. Let's have this at, say, 2 millimeters, and our maximum, say, at 5 millimeters. We have our wall offsets, floor offsets, and we have the extension of how much we want the tool pass to go past the geometries itself. We also have the option of finish. That's all we have to put in here now. Let's do save and calculate, and we'll run our simulation. If we take a look at our simulation using the top view, if we take a look at our simulation using the top view, you'll note, and I'll use the option of show tool, that my tool pass does a trochoidal pass to go in to that area, as shown over here. I could also make this without the show tool. And as you see, we're getting a trochoidal cut until it gets to the very end, as shown over here. Now, in our next operation, again choosing Toolbox Cycles, we'll choose our second option, which is a spiral open slot, but the slot now is wide. So as you can see in this picture, it'll do trochoidal in the middle, and then finish off the sides. As you see, the geometries is the same as before. So again, we'll define our geometry, and we'll choose this as our first one, this as our second chain. I use the same end mill I used last time, my 10 millimeter end mill. Levels, same thing as before. And when I go into my technology area, we have the step down just like we had before. We have our spiral cuts, and we also have the moat width. How wide do we want our moat to be, the channel that we have in the middle to be itself. We have our parallel cuts and how much we want to step over each time. And just as before, we have our wall offsets, extension, and finish options. Let's just give a minimum step over of 1. Let's give a maximum step over of, let's say this time, 7. Step over every 2.5 millimeters. We can go one way or zigzag. And now if we take a look at our simulation, you'll see that the tool pass here, and then when it finishes the middle, it'll go down and start cutting on the sides. It will start cutting now on the sides, cleaning up all the material that's here. Our next one will be showing you the option of spiral with a closed slot wide, where we have a wide slot as shown over here, So in the middle, it's cleaned out again, trochoidal, and then the sides finishing off with those straight cuts. The geometry, as you see over here, is one continuous chain where the pocket edge itself is left open. I'll choose my geometry. I'll choose the tool, the same tool as in the last case. Again, my levels. And in my technology field, again, we have the exact same options as we had in our last operation. So again, I'll fill in this area. We have our step over. Let's say I'll set that at 5 millimeters. Again, I can go one way or zigzag. Let's go zigzag this time. And we'll have a step down every 10 millimeters. Notice all in one shot. If we take a look now at our simulation, you'll see again that we're cutting trochoidal in this area over here. And then when it gets to the end, it'll start cleaning around. And then it goes around cleaning the outside edges as shown over here. Thank you for joining us on part 1 of Toolbox in SolidCAM 2011. Take care and have a nice day.